Hi guys, so we've come to a point now in our testing that we've got some evidence, we've got some pretty clear cut evidence about what not to do on our bot, and we found out that actually having the checks in place actually hindered our loss, profit and loss. You'd think perhaps having checks in would have been beneficial. That actually proved to be negative for our P&L, profit and loss. So we need to give you a little bit of a run through about what the 2.0 logic is and what we're doing. Then I need to talk about what we found out and about what we're going to do as well going forward. So a bit of history, and the history is basically like the logic of what we're doing. And if we come to the volume delta summary, it basically just checks whether or not the retail herd are going long on their volumes, or if they're going short on their volumes. Now, normally, if they go as a herd and they move strongly as sheep, they're going to get slaughtered, especially if they've got terrible risk management and they hold onto that bias, and then they hold, and then they're going to get liquidated, and then it will be a feast for the market makers, and they're going to profit on the nature of the crowd because they're so counter trend, and they offer really good signals for the big fish as well, and for us. This is what we're doing 2.0. So basically we're just looking at volume. Volume delta is simply another way of saying the change across time. Now, the thing of note is that we come to the trade setups. This looks at daily and weekly. Okay, now this just looks at daily only. This looks at the daily and weekly. Now, this is what test machine 5 is doing. Now, I think test machine 5 is going to be the way to go because it looks at daily and weekly confirmation. So if they buy or sell X and then they continue to do it over a period of days, test machine 5 is going to kill it on the profit and loss. It's going to do really well. So I think what will probably be the case is that we probably will go to test machine 5, but we'll wait and see for profit and loss, and we've got a couple more weeks left of testing. Okay, so that's a little bit of a history. Basically, we're looking at volumes, so it should be quite easy to understand. Okay, and we come back to the Discord. Now, we found out from having a thing called the Monte Carlo that gave us an ability to test some things. So the Monte Carlo is simply a very random component to the testing. It just opens buy or sell randomly, but we know that whatever it does trade, we know that it's got volume behind it, hence this bit, right? We know that there's momentum from the herd, so it should move. All right, so that's the logic. So come back here. Now, we know based on the Monte Carlo principle, buy or sell is just random in nature. Now, we know by looking at this, we know that going against the herd is making more profit than the Monte Carlo. See, the no checks non Monte Carlo is greater profit than the no checks has Monte Carlo. So we know that the randomness isn't as profitable as going against the herd. In fact, going against the herd is twice as profitable than just the randomness. But by having the Monte Carlo, we know we can extrapolate other tests from that, and we can see has checks, no Monte Carlo, negative, has checks, has Monte Carlo, right? So we know there must be something wrong in there, and we know we can identify having the checks gives us a negative value on our price performance. So it was a good test. And so the checks are quite straightforward. There's the three arguments you could say in the bot logic. It checks the failure rate if we're high or low. If it's high, then we need to be a bit wary because if the failure rate is low, then we need to be wary because we don't really want the crowd to be getting rewarded. We need them to be getting punished. And if they're getting punished, that would be normal. And we want sort of normal behavior for the bot. So we had that check. It didn't matter, funny enough. Has the pair moved too much intraday? Has it moved above 0.6 or below 0.6? Again, it didn't matter. So that logic there is that if we've moved too much in a day, we think, oh, we've like the bus has gone. It's too late to get the bus. Not necessarily, because it can continue to perform well on that day or to perform poorly. So that didn't matter. And whether or not the pair is above 50% for a sell or whether or not the pair is below 50% for the buy, again, that didn't really matter too much. Because we're looking at volume delta, we know the volume movement across time is more powerful than the static nature of where we actually are on the sentiment. It's the volume changes, that's the flow behind the trade. And so we know that these are good tests, but we know that we don't need them now because of the Monte Carlo. It enabled us to see to conduct further tests, and we know that having the checks was negative for us. And so what we've done now, if we come to Discord, the sheet, come to the predictor sentiment, we've now whittled it down to 1, 3 and 5. Now I think what will probably be the case is that there's going to be a battle between these two, and then the winner of those two are going to battle the test machine 5. Now test machine 5 should be like a beast. It should be really, really, really powerful because it looks at daily and weekly. There is something to be said. Even though it says 100 minus 149, this takes this information from the beginning of April. Now, if we come to test machine 5, we're actually up £204. So we were up a hell of a lot, but currently since the beginning of April, it has undergone a little bit of loss. But we started the 10k virtual funds. We're up 2%, so it's good, okay? So even though we haven't had the best 19 days, since it started, it's up 2%, so that's good. So we'll do some more testing for a couple of weeks. Now, this is going to be really interesting. The winner of these two. Will the randomness win out over going against the herd? Now, going against the herd should give us more profit than not. But big if, this one wins out, that's going to be massively interesting, and it could be quite good information. It gives us good stats, in so much as that we have so much uncertainty right now. Approaching the market in a sort of random way negates quite a lot of that uncertainty. And you could argue some of the big banks like Wells Fargo, Bank of America, JP Morgan, they're probably hedging because of the uncertainty with the trade wars. And by having a randomness component, we are effectively hedging against that uncertainty. So it's going to be a very, very, very interesting couple of weeks. Whether or not this is going to win out, if it does, it'll be interesting. But I think we should be fine going against the crowd, and we should be making profit. And we know that we're on the right track. But if the randomness wins out, it is what it is. It's just the nature of the current environment where we don't really know what's going to come next week. We don't know what's going to come out of the White House or from China. Whether or not we're actually going to get a ceasefire in Ukraine, it's going to change things. So that's the current situation we are right now. And we're not having any checks in now because of the Monte Carlo. It enabled us to check whether or not the checks themselves were going to be beneficial, and they weren't. So that's where we are right now. So if you want to get access to the bot, you'll need to go to Patreon. But by going to Patreon, you unlock the spreadsheet, and you've got a ton of information, humongous amounts of setups. We've got the bubbles as well, and we've got a thing called predictive sentiment, which we can predict the future on the currency baskets, which is amazing. So it looks at past values. Pending that they hold, we know where the bubbles are going to be in the future, and we can extrapolate that information for our trade setup. So I think what might be the case, if there is ever going to be a 3.0 logic, it's going to be based on QDB future analysis, and that's going to be quite advanced. But for now, we'll just look at 2.0 volume delta. 3.0 is probably going to be the future bubbles, and then we'll have an absolutely amazingly powerful robot. And don't forget, in Discord you have a thing called the bank forecasts and analysis as well, and then you can read that over your coffee break, and you've got stuff from the big banks and about what they're doing for the week ahead. So have a look at that. Any questions, let me know. If anything is confusing, please let me know and I'll help you. It won't be a problem. But it was very interesting that the fact that the checks actually hindered our profit and loss. And we'll have to wait and see whether or not the randomness is going to win out over going against the herd. But going against the herd should give us an advantage, and it should give us strong setups for for our trades. So that is the video for the 2.0 summary. Any questions, let me know, and have a great weekend. I'll speak to you guys soon. Morning, guys. So I'm not sure if you are aware, but we have a ability for you to join for free at QDB, and you can unlock Discord in its entirety and all those channels and the bank forecasts and our community, trade setups, the robots, and you can also have me as well for support if you need, and also the spreadsheet as well. And the spreadsheet is enormous and it's really, really powerful. And it's even got a thing where it's got predictive sentiment in the spreadsheet now. So it can predict the future, pending that the crowd hold, of course. They may not hold. If they flip-flop, it's not ideal. But if they hold, then we can predict what they're going to do, which is really cool because we have a thing called the future bubbles. So if you were interested in unlocking all of that stuff, you create an account on IC Markets, and what you'll need to do is just simply click the link. It's campaign for 55485, and you'll come here, and it'll store a little cookie on your computer to say that you've used that URL, and then you just simply say, you fill in the information, and you say, I'd like to join. Hi, I would like to join campaign. If I can spell it, 55485, and can you merge my live account with this campaign ID, if I can spell it. And then that's it. Then you'll fill in the information. Obviously it did ask for the name, but that's obvious. You will fill that in, and then you'll speak to the AI bot, and then you'll type that in, and then that will get the ball rolling. And so let me know once you've done this, once you've funded your account, and then I'll send you the sheet and give you Discord unlock. But I will need to see activity on that account. You can't just have live funds in there and not use it. Okay, so just a quick plug there for IC Markets, and it is without a doubt the best broker I've ever used, and you can see that is absolutely insane as well. 200,000 happy active clients, and the support is fantastic. I've never had any issues whatsoever with their support. The sign up is easy, and the withdrawals are easy as well, because it has PayPal and various schemes as well, credit card, debit card, Skrill, Apple Pay, and that's it. So it's an option, and all you're going to just simply do is just tell them that you want to join the campaign ID 55485, and whether or not you can merge my live account or your live account with this campaign ID, and then they'll say, yep, I'll put you through to a human, and then you may have to repeat that, and then they'll say, oh, can you email this address, and then you'll email that address, and then they'll have a record of your account officially wanting to merge with this campaign 55485. Okay, just a quick one there if you were interested in unlocking all the stuff that we provide for free. Okay.